Despite seeing an amateur beat a professional and hearing about how a pro can be in negative figures for the year, it still seems poker is different to other forms of gambling.
The real dedicated poker players do not like playing roulette or blackjack because the element of luck is just too great for them. And obviously if they're skillful players, then they're going to make more money by playing poker than other games. And so I think there is a real distinction between a poker player and a gambler. Somebody who just wants to play for the joy of getting lucky on roulette, whereas a poker player is obviously playing to his skill.
Although not everyone is convinced poker is any different to the likes of the slot machines.
I don't necessarily believe that it is any different from any other form of gambling. You're gambling, you're risk-taking, you're taking chances.
GamCare deal with people whose luck has run out. They take calls off people with all types of gambling problems, including poker.
I see it as a game of skill, but I also see it as a game where you can't predict the fall of the cards. I think people who will try poker because they think they're going to be skillful at it are going to be gambling for the wrong reasons. And therefore, like any form of gambling, if you gamble for the wrong reasons, you're going to get into problems and difficulties.
So you can win even when effectively you would lose with the cards you've got. But is that a skill, or is that something like your chance in your luck? I mean, is that a skill if you're chancing your luck? Yeah, maybe it is. Yeah, perhaps.
Although calls regarding poker aren't as frequent as other forms, the effects felt by those callers are the same as any other gambler.
If you've got access to money, there's no limit to the amount of damage that you can do over a period of time. The impacts are the same: devastation on the family, devastation on health, devastation on your finances. People end up in prison because they got into difficulties with gambling. It's a very severe addiction, and coming off is not easy.
Someone who has been on the losing side of poker is Rob. He lost almost £2,000 in the space of a year playing online poker, the type of news no one wants to break to their parents.
It got to the point where I'd lost so much money that I needed their help, and they were questioning what I'd spend all the money on, and they thought it could have been drugs and stuff, so I had to come clean that it was just purely on gambling. It was pretty horrible time telling your parents that you've lost so much money just on poker. I used to win quite a bit when I was playing against my mates. So I thought it was all about skill sort of thing, and I thought because I've got a massive say over how well I can get on, there shouldn't be a problem, and I should be able to definitely win money. But after a while, I don't believe anymore it's about skill. I genuinely think a lot of it's to do with luck.
Rob's addiction to poker didn't just have an effect on his wallet, it also took its toll psychologically as well.
And it sounds ridiculous, but I was out on a night once, and we were in the club and I had a few drinks and stuff, but I was just relating everything to poker, like t-shirt colours and stuff were like meaning like different suits. I was like seeing about the flush, and I couldn't, like song lyrics meant like stuff like if I was getting a straight, and like I was just like, I was constantly worried about what was beating what, if my straight would beat the flush, and it was insane. I know obviously the drink had an effect, but I couldn't get it out of my mind.
Meanwhile, back at the tournament, it's getting late and I'm facing some tough decisions. But my poker instinct treats me well this time, and I continue to make good progress. Yes. So what about someone else in my position? Joe's a student who wins regularly online, and it looks like his disciplined and strategic approach to the game could be the reason why he prospers and someone like Rob doesn't.
Quite loose there actually, because he's opening the pot. If I was to play 10,000 hands or something like that, I'd expect to come out on top over a guy who thinks it's a game of luck. In the short term, I mean, it's bad luck, but in the long term, if you're consistently getting your money in as a 60-40 favourite or 70-30 or whatever, constantly as a favourite, you're constantly going to make money.
Even though he wins regularly and is well in control of his bankroll, Joe still admits to being addicted to the game.
I sort of took time off this summer and didn't play for 3 months, just to sort of prove that I wasn't wholly addicted to it. But it's an addictive game, like gambling.
So as a winning poker player, would Joe ever consider playing poker for a living?
Personally, I don't think I'm good enough to play poker for a living at the moment. But if I can continue to improve, then maybe, but I doubt it, to be honest.
Do you think if you were good enough, you'd look at it as an option, maybe?
Maybe, yeah. But I think, I don't know what my family would think about that, to be honest.
I suppose I should really see what my nearest and dearest would think about their beloved son, grandson and nephew playing poker for a living.
No, I wouldn't like it at all, I'm afraid, and I should think that you could really find something better to do with your talents.
It's very much an occupation where you can only prosper on the back of somebody else's losses. I suppose in a way people say a lot of business is like that.
No, I wouldn't be too happy, especially when we've put you through university to do a broadcast journalism course and you're not going to do anything to do with that, and playing poker wasn't really on the cards, so to speak.
Times are hard. I think everyone needs to find a job at the moment, and it's obviously something you're quite good at. I wouldn't be against it per se, particularly if it made you quite wealthy, and don't forget your uncle.
The price of poker is getting very expensive and somebody calls my bluff.
I'm crushed.
If no 8 comes, my tournament is over.
Or I'm out of there. I'm out.
So my tournament is over, and the past 5 hours of nerves and tension have amounted to a return of just $44. I found that there is too much gamble involved in poker for me to pursue it as a career. So that, along with another reason, means it's going to stay firmly as a hobby.